on Casino Royale with cheese.
Did you have a secret code word with your parents?
I think we did, but I couldn't tell you what it was now.
We did. The scenario was that if someone tried to pick us up at school, that wasn't my mom or dad, I was supposed to ask them for the secret word.
Right.
Never happened.
No, never. I didn't know why you're gonna pick me up anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You could just take one look at me as a kid. You're not picking me
Right.
up.
We'll try somebody else. It's cool.
I was short, chubby, pale, and redhead. Nobody wanted me.
Yeah, I wasn't redhead, but I was about the same as you. So yeah.
The short, pale, and chubby?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nobody wants the short, pale, chubby kid.
No, they're not trying to fuck my butt.
Ew.
And now, the conclusion.
Houston, we have a problem.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
A boy's best friend is his mother.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Silent breed is people!
Yo, Adrian! I did it!
Let's put a smile on that face.
I gotta warn you, Clark. They don't play the same games here as they do at them regular casinos.
Royale, too.
Welcome back to Casino Royale with Cheese. This is episode number 47 of the internet show where we discuss movies that were number one at the box office exactly 20 years ago. My name is Shane. Today I'm joined by the man who's discovered how to slow down the passage of time, and that's by watching this movie. This is Mike.
I will say I watched this movie and am now recording this podcast in complete protest.
Kicking and screaming, this guy. Nobody ever hit us up wanting to fill in for you there, Mike. So
I know. You guys let me down.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, fans.
I thought we were cool.
You was wrong again. How's it going today, man?
Oh, it's been such an irritating day.
Yeah?
Yeah, just little stuff here and there coming up, having to take care of this, taking care of that. And I was looking forward to today so much because I was taking a shower this morning and I realized out of the last 36 hours, I had been asleep for 24 of them.
Oh, wow. Well, that's pretty good.
That's a lot of
Pretty
sleep.
good sleep, yeah.
I needed it, but oh man.
Yeah.
And then today just been nothing but crap.
Yeah, I hear you. You're all rested up, and the world saw that and took advantage.
For real.
A couple things on the docket here I want to discuss real quick. Number one, the Army beat the Navy. So
Hell yeah, we did. 3-peat.
That's the good stuff there. And the Sooners got another Heisman. So
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. That's good stuff. I was telling my wife because she didn't realize that Kyler Murray was actually under contract to play baseball.
She didn't know he was drafted by the Oakland A's.
Nope.
In the first round for $5.6 million. They only say it every single game.
Right. And that's what I told her. I was like, he's probably the best baseball player that OU football has ever put out. So, but yeah, it's crazy, man. Because after getting a Heisman, you would think that dude could really make some money in the NFL, but no, he's doing a baseball thing, I guess. So.
Well, last night during the Heisman presentation, he wouldn't say whether he was going to do both sports or not.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. But yeah, so interesting stuff. I think that's pretty awesome. So go everybody, go team. Go guys. So, meanwhile, we're just getting our Christmas stuff ready, man. We're
So I haven't
getting
even put a tree up yet.
Oh, really? You better jump on it, dude.
Why?
Well, I guess that's a valid point. That's something. I mean, you got a couple weeks, and that's it. So, anyway, what was today? This week's movie, anyway. What are we talking about, Mike?
I'm not gonna say it. You say it.
We're discussing the ninth entry into the Star Trek series, Star Trek Insurrection. And I don't know. Are you familiar with this movie at all, Mike?
No.
No,
I didn't know it existed.
never seen it. Oh, Lordy. That's funny stuff right there.
Why do you enjoy doing this to me?
Technically, I didn't do this one to you. That was...
You picked the two before.
That is true.
You knew this one was coming, and you still made me watch two others that sucked.
Well, the reason that I picked First Contact was because I knew that this one was coming up, and I was actually hoping that you would, have a different perspective on Star Trek, where you'd be like, okay, well, it has its good and its bad. Yeah, whatever. But that kind of blew up in my face. I did not anticipate you hating Star Trek First Contact. So
It was terrible.
Let me ask you this: which one do you think is worse, this one or that one?
They're both pretty bad. This one doesn't have a point. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't even know why they made it.
That's one of my big gripes with this movie. I think it was Red Letter Media actually put it best whenever he said that this movie almost seems like it had already been made and was just sitting on like a shelf somewhere, and they're like, oh, we could put this movie out, That's
I don't get it.
His take on it.
Like, it didn't give me anything.
No, not particularly, no. We have our usual suspects reemerge in this movie. It's Patrick Stewart as Captain Picard.
Who I love, so it pains me to go through this.
Yeah, he's great, man. I don't get it, but whatever. We got Jonathan Frakes playing Commander Riker, Brent Spiner playing Lieutenant Commander Data, LeVar Burton is Geordie LaForge, Michael Dorn is Worf, not Wolf, but Worf.
Way cooler if his name was Wolf.
Wolf, yeah. Be a solid name, dude. Gates McFadden plays Dr. Beverly Crusher. Marina Sirtis plays Counselor Deanna Troi. We've got F. Murray Abraham shows up in this movie, who is famous for the movie Amadeus, if you will. He played Salieri.
Amadeus.
That's the one.
Amadeus. Amadeus.
Mike's just going to do that through the duration. He'd rather do that than talk about this movie.
The song's way better than the movie.
Well, Amadeus is a good movie. This is not. So, but we'll go with that. We got Donna Murphy, who plays Anej in this movie. And we've got the only other one that I thought was really worth mentioning was Anthony Zerbe. Zerbe or Anthony Zerbe. I don't know how you pronounce his name technically, but what I remember him most fondly for was he was one of the henchmen in License to Kill, a James Bond movie. So I got nothing but good feelings for that dude, excluding this movie. So let's see here. It was made on a budget of $58 million. So there's that. How well do you think it fared time frame wise and box office wise, Mike?
Well, it was number one, right?
It was number one, yes. 20 years ago, exactly.
I give it a week.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. In the U.S., do you dare to guess how well it fared?
40 million.
No, it actually did 70,187,000 and some change. So
wow.
But altogether, it brought in 112 million. So if it made any money, it didn't make much. So I guess there's that.
Is this the last one?
Nope. There was one other movie that came out featuring the Next Generation crew. You'll have to excuse Mike's dog.
Yeah, gee whiz, Daisy. Come on. So, this is the holiday season, so we're getting packages delivered and stuff like that. And the dog, she just goes off every time someone's even near the
Losing
door.
it. Yeah. But no, there was another movie that featured the Next Generation crew that came out in 2002. And it went toe-to-toe with Lord of the Rings. I believe it was the second Lord of the Rings movie. And so it just got annihilated at the box office.
Ass kicked.
Which is crazy. It actually features Tom Hardy in that movie. So go figure that.
Oh, yeah. He's the one that they, blamed for, ruining Star Trek.
Did they really?
Yeah. It was, a big, bad thing in his career.
Yeah.
Which he's obviously bounced back from. But
I didn't think he was all that bad in that. There's plenty of stuff to hate on with the 2002 movie. And, yes, we're going to talk about it at some point. Because it never hit number one at the box office. And so I can whip that card out anytime I want.
oh, boy.
But, yeah, next week, that's what... No, I'm just kidding. But...
I hate you.
But, so, yeah, there's that. I did a summary of this week's episode.
Oh, joy.
So, if you would like, I can cover all the major plot points at this time.
Oh, I can
and then
barely
we can
wait.
Discuss all the things that we loved and hated about the film. And for Mike, that's going to be just about everything. So, okay. Star Trek Insurrection, a.k.a. Star Trek IX, The Search for a Quick Buck, released December 11th, 1998. It opens with the introduction of one of the least interesting tropes in Star Trek, and that is the space Amish, otherwise known as the Baku, which word contains an unnecessary apostrophe in the middle of, so that we know that this is space. We soon find out they're inexplicably, more on that later, being observed by the Federation and a species new to Star Trek, who we later find out is the Sona, same apostrophe, in secret.
So they're new? The Sona had never been seen before?
Never seen either one of these guys before, ever. Yeah.
Well, the Baku I get, but the Sona, they're new?
Yeah. Yeah, the Sona and the Baku, brand new.
Okay.
Never seen before or mentioned ever again. So.
Yeah, let's go ahead and introduce a couple new races into our thing that's been around since the 50s.
Well, the 60s, but yeah.
All right,
that's
60s,
a way to
whatever.
get me. That's a way to get me invested right there. Is introduce a new species and then basically browbeat me into trying to empathize with them. If you don't empathize, you're wrong.
One species gets younger, the other one's fighting getting old.
Right. The observation mission is going as planned until a disembodied head of Lieutenant Commander Data begins shooting up the village and exposing the whole operation to the locals. They're all wearing Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, you see. Meanwhile, aboard the Enterprise, a chance to laugh at Captain Picard is in full swing. Worf shows up, nobody knows why and nobody cares, and Picard gets a call from Admiral Dougherty asking them how to fix Data. Picard offers to provide his assistance, but Admiral Dougherty says he just needs data schematics and tells Picard to stay away. Bless you.
Thanks.
So, after the Enterprise arrives at Planet Hippie, they find out a handful of things. The Baku know of advanced technology but decide not to use it. In fact, they've already diagnosed Data's malfunction, and we also find out that they find any form of violence distasteful. After investigating a nearby lake where Data was damaged, causing his violent outburst, the Enterprise crew discovers a cloak shipped with an exact holographic duplication of the hippie commune. Not long after, Picard begins putting together the pieces. The rings around the planet put off quote-unquote metaphasic particles, which keep the Baku from aging. These particles also bring out the youthfulness of the Enterprise crew. Worf gets a pimple, Riker gets horny, and Picard takes up Latin dancing.
Nailed
Captain, it's true, man. Captain Picard is able, however, to tear himself away from his new hobby long enough to ascertain that Admiral Dougherty, the people that work for him, and the Sona are all planning to relocate the inhabitants of Space Pennsylvania to the village's holodeck recreation and send them on their way so they can collect the metaphasic particles, destroying the planet in the process. More on that later. After Picard confronts Admiral Dougherty and the Sona leader, Ruafo, same apostrophe, Dougherty tells Picard that the Baku are not indigenous to the planet, and that being the case, they are protected by Starfleet's Prime Directive. What becomes even more apparent, the planet they're on is in Federation space, so from a legal standpoint, they can do with it whatever they want. Picard protests, at which time Ruafo is noticeably pissed as he leaves a puddle on the floor. Around that time, Admiral Dougherty gives him the order to fuck off. Afterward, Picard decides to go against his orders to help the people anyway. When preparing to do so, the Enterprise's senior staff decides to help him. Riker and LaForge are sent back to tell Starfleet what's going on. Meanwhile, Picard, Dr. Crusher, Data, Worf, and Counselor Troy all attempt to defend the Baku fish in a barrel, who are soon being transported one by one to a nearby Sonus ship by robotic probes. After they take refuge in a cave, Picard's love interest, Anij, is trapped in a cave-in, and she shows him how to turn back time so she doesn't succumb to her wounds. Back on the Enterprise, Admiral Dougherty has given the go-ahead for the Sona to attack the Enterprise, who are momentarily effective after using subspace weapons. The only way they're able to not be destroyed is by launching their warp core at the nearby explosion. Riker soon takes manual control of the ship, more on that later, and creates the Riker maneuver, quote-unquote, a strategy where you suck up flammable space gas, deposit it by your adversaries, and hope they're careless enough to blow themselves up with it. Picard and his girlfriend are soon captured... Picard and his girlfriend are soon captured by the Sona after Dr. Crusher tells him that the Sona and Baku are the same people and that they've gotten involved in a blood feud. Upon learning this, Admiral Dougherty tells Ruafo that he's out. Ruafo gets pissed and kills him. There's a stupid scene with a bait and switch in which Ruafo thinks he's successfully collected the metaphasic particles, but he was on the holodeck the whole time. Yawn. And the movie reaches its climax as Picard destroys the particle collector along with Ruafo in it. Everybody lives happily ever after. Picard gets his much-deserved blowjob. Data learns how to play. More on that later. The Enterprise begins its 10-year voyage back to Earth now that they have no warp drive, and billions of people are allowed to die. But hey, we have our morals, right? This film stars Patrick Stewart, Brent Spiner, and a CGI sugar glider. And that's the movie.
Good job, Shane.
Why, thank you, sir.
We could have just did that. You could have saved me about 2 hours of my life.
It's true.
You actually made it sound kind of interesting.
Oh, it's not. It's anything but.
I like that. Can you do that every week now?
Yeah, I can do that.
I like that. It's really good. It really, makes it sound official.
Well, that works. I can keep that up.
We've done almost 50 episodes. It's time we get our shit together.
Well, we've been doing this almost a year, so, Not bad. We'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
So I actually saw this in the theater, man.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah, me and my dad have a tradition where anytime there's a new Star Trek or Star Wars that comes out, then we go watch it together at the theater.
I went to the theater with you with the Star Wars.
Yeah, you did. Dad didn't make that one, but that's okay, because I didn't like that movie anyway. So I was going to actually wait to go with him, and then you're like, do you want to watch that movie? And I was like, meh, fuck it. And then after I disliked it as much as I did, then I was like, I'm not going to go back and watch it with Dad. Fuck that. But was there anything that stood out to you that you kind of liked about this movie, Mike?
It's really pretty.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's shot pretty well.
Kind of idyllic, yeah.
There's a couple spots that are a little hokey, but for the most part, I thought this was shot really well. I thought the effects were pretty good. Surprisingly, I was really surprised. I was watching this thinking for effects to tear apart. And like I said, there's a couple of spots where you're like, that's kind of hokey. But for the most part, the movie looks pretty good.
See, I thought the effects were garbage, bro. But
they're so much better than the other ones.
Really? I thought First Contact looked way better than this movie. But maybe I'm, I don't know. But this is the first Star Trek movie where they didn't use any actual models. It was all CGI for the ships and stuff,
I thought they looked pretty good.
Meh. I think they look good. There's some parts of it that really bother me. Those fucking space robotic probe things that they send down, those look pretty fucking bad, dude.
Yeah, they're pretty cheesy. Like I said, there's some spots in it that are pretty bad, but for the most part, I thought it's pretty. Maybe it has something to do with island or the landscape that they shot this in, because it's really nice looking there.
Yeah. This was directed by Jonathan Frakes once again. He directed the last Star Trek movie that we talked about. So, you know. I think the music is nice in parts. That was kind of neat. I would say I like Patrick Stewart, but they didn't really give him anything to do in this movie. So,
He's kind of odd.
He does fine, but, like, who cares? There's nothing going on in this fucking movie, you know? So.
It's so lame. So, at the beginning, Data goes rogue, right? Because he's shot.
Yeah, he does.
And in order to get him back under control, Picard sings to him.
He sings to him.
They have a duet.
Oh, man. What they're doing is they're trying to come up underneath him with this shuttlecraft because he's got this ship and he's, like, shooting at, the Admiral ship or whatever. And so anyway, they're trying to catch him. Picard starts singing to him to distract him. And then their shuttle comes up underneath his ship, and it looks like the two are mating.
They're space docking.
Yeah. And then it's really bad because... Are you talking about, like, the docking, like, the penises thing?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to end this conversation, sir.
You know what I'm talking about, big boy.
Next topic. But no, what's crazy about it, though, is then they all, like, both of them start spinning out of control. There's this horrible, horrible shot where all they did was, like, rotate the camera around. So... all they did was, like, flip the camera, and it's supposed to emulate them, like, rolling. Spinning around. Yeah. But they weren't even rolling that way, so it's just a cheap-looking effect that doesn't make any sense.
No, that was cheesy as fuck. That whole scene's cheesy.
Oh, it was bad. Really bad.
Data gets to go underwater. We get to see him, like, play with little fish underwater.
He, like... So they mentioned he left his emotion chip before, and he's, like, waving to this fish.
With just his finger.
Right.
Like, hi, fishy.
Yeah.
Worf has a huge pimple on his face.
Big old pimple. A gorch, as they call it. Whatever. I think that Donna Murphy, the girl that played Anish, Picard's little girlfriend in the movie, while her character is anything but interesting, I think Donna Murphy did a fine job. And she's pretty easy on the eyes, so...
Oh, she's the most beautiful 300-year-old woman I've ever seen.
Yeah, she is. Do you recognize her from anything else you might have seen, Mike?
No.
She was Dr. Ock's wife in Spider-Man 2, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can see that now.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to say, right out the gate here, I'm going to be referencing some stuff that have been brought up, because I've watched a lot of reviews on, like, YouTube and stuff like that. I'm going to be referencing a dude on YouTube. He started on YouTube, but he goes by SF Debris. Another dude, Confused Matthew, and Red Letter Media. All three of those, because they've gone into detail about, like... So I'm going to bring up maybe some shit that they've talked about and some shit that, I haven't... That they didn't go into at all. But,
Ooh, I can barely wait.
Yeah, exactly. So people like to compare this movie to, like, a decent 2-part episode of Star Trek. But I disagree, because I can't think of any 2-part episodes of The Next Generation that were lamer than this. It was awful.
Jordy can see.
He can see. That is true. That's one thing I'm going to say right there is the blind guy can grow new eyes, but the bald guy can't grow hair.
I know. There's even a scene where
fuck?
she, like, rubs his head.
Yeah.
And I thought she was going to say, your hair is growing back.
Right. You got little
no.
follicles. Nope.
She said it's been a long time since I've seen a bald fucker.
Right. His scalp is fucking barren, dude.
He pulls it off, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Patrick Stewart, he's very dashing, man.
If I could pull off a bald head like Patrick Stewart, I would rock it all day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, I look like a white supremacist with the bald head, so.
The pasty dude with the freckles and the, yeah.
My wife hates it.
They try to play up in this movie the humor a little bit, and I'm of the opinion, like, y'all need to pick a tone. Number one, There's a lot of things that Star Trek does well, but humor is not consistently.
It's not a
done well in
comedy.
Star Trek. Right. Well, like Star Trek 4, the one with the whales, that one did some good humor, I think. But this, though, we're talking about like forced relocation and potential genocide and things of that nature. And then we've got like Data comparing his fucking face or his ass to Riker's face, you know?
It's fucking weird.
Worf gets a big fat pimple. What's some other? Oh, Data's talking about his boobs. What the fuck are we doing?
It's a really bad scene because he was listening to Troy and Crusher.
Yeah.
Talk about how their boobs have firmed up.
Right.
So then he says it to Worf, and all he was doing was copying what they said. So like, you're trying to tell me this android, he's just a parrot, basically.
Basically, yeah.
I thought it was
they're handling. Oh, go ahead.
I thought it was interesting. There's a race in the Star Trek universe of the Kardashians. They have their own race.
Oh yeah, the Kardashians. Every one of them has a huge ass.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. A lot of promiscuity. I don't think they have clothes on that planet either.
Nice. I mean, people could say what they want to say about the Kardashian girls, but they're not ugly.
No, they're not. You know, it's funny because I get the feeling that like Khloe Kardashian gets she's overlooked a lot. I always thought she was probably the cutest of that whole group, and she's the one that doesn't act like a retard, you know. So
she's someone else's kid.
Oh well, there you go. I heard those rumors about her potentially being OJ's daughter, but
yeah, I don't
know if
think
that's true
so.
or not. Yeah.
You know, one thing I've always wondered about Star Trek.
What's that?
Is how can their ships survive so much damage?
It's a good question right there, man.
You're in a vacuum in outer space.
Right. So you would think, because they have the energy shield around the ship, so it's basically offers some sort of like subterfuge whenever they're taking like fire or whatever. But once that thing goes down, you would think it would just start punching holes through that fucking ship, you know?
Well, I would think once you got a hole in it, you're pretty fucked.
Well, they can seal off like the decks of the ship and things like that. But if somebody's just raining fucking fire on you, dude, then I think you're fucked, you know?
And are they steam powered?
I don't know, man.
Because they're always spraying steam out.
Always spraying steam. One thing I think's funny is in Star Trek Voyager, the TV show with Kate Mulgrew, Captain Janeway. Whenever they get hit, there's like rocks and shit that fall from the ceiling. I'm like, do we need a mason out here? Or, you know, like, what's the deal, man? And another thing I thought about is there's always like sparks shooting everywhere. And I'm like, if you guys put in like a, some type of like a circuit breaker, it'd probably solve a lot of problems for you.
Yeah. Lots of sparks, lots of steam.
Yeah, man. It's fucking weird.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say, I think that this observation mission is stupid and unnecessary.
You think?
So the idea of them wanting to transport these people off of this planet and put them on a recreation of it out in space somewhere and then just like drop them off somewhere. Why are you standing around wearing these invisibility suits and like studying these people? What are you trying to learn that's going to help you in any way complete that, you know? I don't get it.
I don't know. Picard knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah. Oh, he figured it out in no time.
As soon as he saw the holodeck ship, the
Yep.
holo ship, he was like, oh, they're trying to relocate you. I'm like, what the fuck? Is this standard
Right.
shit in Star Trek?
It's not. Not typically.
Hey, who's the dude who plays the real wrinkly bastard?
That's F. Murray Abraham, the Ruafo or whatever his fucking name
Yeah.
is.
He's in a lot of
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Well, most notably Amadeus, but yeah, he's been in like a handful of other things. A lot of stuff, actually.
Yeah. Because you can recognize him even through his all wrinkly, flappy skin.
Right. But his character, once again, because he's supposed to be the big baddie in this movie, they don't give him anything to do. Whenever Admiral Dougherty and Picard and him all sit down and like have their little meeting or whatever, and like his fucking forehead bust open.
Yeah, that was gross.
It was really gross. But at
He,
that
like,
point, I was
throws
sitting
a
back.
fit, and then
Yeah.
his head leaks. all over the-
Yeah. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, Oh yeah, that guy's he's in this movie, you know. Fucking, that's not good, man. If you're trying to set up a villain for the movie and then the viewer like forgets he's in the fucking thing, it's not good, dude.
So you're trying to tell me that those two races are the same people?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
The whole, I guess, idea is that they were. I got problems with this too, but they basically left the planet and they were aging while everybody back at home was not. And so, like, they just looked old and fucking wrinkly and shitty.
Yeah, but there's young ones on the ship with them.
That's true.
Like, there's that one alien hottie chick that, like, does all his face stretching with him.
Oh, yeah. I think that was a different species, I want to say.
You think so?
Yeah. Although I couldn't tell you what they are. Let's talk about this. So I got a major issue with the Baku out of the gate here. So number one, they don't like technology, right? Mm-hmm. They have used technology in the past, and then they basically were like, I think we found like the perfect place to live. We're not going to do technology anymore. And then they're like, we also don't want to use weapons. We don't believe in violence. And we also, like, those kids that were back here, they wanted to use technology, so we basically told them to fuck off, you know? And I'm like, how are we supposed to side with these guys whenever they basically shun people of their community just because they didn't want to live the same way that they did, you know?
Oh, I like the Baku.
Oh, I hated these fuckers.
I want to live with the Baku.
I think that it's funny that they want us to, like, side with these people and, like, see their perspective on their distaste for technology. Whenever they go through, like, one movie ago, they were talking about how wonderful it was that, you know, there was warp drive and all these people, like, famine was over and disease was over and united everybody and all this other shit. And then in this movie, they're like, oh, technology, that's bad, you know? What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I didn't write the fucking movie, Shane. Don't yell at me.
Well, I mean, that's true. But technology is the whole impetus for Star Trek. And now you're trying to sell me on the idea that it's bad.
No, it's just a little utopian settlement.
It's bullshit.
You wouldn't live there?
No, absolutely not.
You want your skin stretching sessions?
I'll stretch my skin, dude. I'll age gracefully.
You stretch your skin every day, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, yeah. You already know. 3 or 4 times, maybe.
Oh, wow.
So, let me ask you this. First of all, I want to say Data's story arc is stupid.
Data's retarded as fuck. I can't stand that character anymore. And he was my favorite when it was a television show. When there was a TV show, Star Trek, and I told you, my parents watched it, like, religiously.
Yeah, you saw it in passing, yeah.
Yeah, and I would be in the room sometimes while they were watching it, and I liked Data.
Yeah, it was Data and Picard. You know, those are the two interesting characters.
But Data was my dude.
Right.
And they make him so lame in these movies.
Tremendously lame. So, 2 movies ago, they go through and fucking Data gets his emotion chip, and then he's kind of indirectly responsible for Geordi LaForge getting kidnapped at one point. And so basically Picard has to, like, tell him, hey, you're not always going to experience the emotions that you want to experience, you know? Sometimes you just gotta fucking suck it up. Having emotions that you don't necessarily want, that's part of, you know, becoming more human-like, you know? And then, in the last movie, his story arc was that... This last movie, he ran into the Borg Queen, and she told him that basically she could bring him as close as he's ever been to humanity. All that he had to do in the meantime, though, was basically destroy humanity. And he could, you know, become almost human-like, you know. And so in this movie, his story arc is he has to learn how to play.
Lame.
So lame. And it's because Data even says, I play the violin. Like, Data's acted in plays on the ship in the show.
He was practicing his song with Picard earlier.
There you go. He's done like
Gotta be a
holodeck.
man with a quivering chest. What the fuck?
Yeah, Pirates of Penzance or whatever.
His lips are pursed and his hair is coiffed.
That must really hurt Picard to sing about having hair, man.
It hurt me to watch it.
Let me hit you up with this analogy that I think it was brought up by Confused Matthew on YouTube, but I think it totally applies in a situation like this, okay?
Please.
Here we go. So, say for instance, they go through at some point, it's on the news that scientists have discovered that there's a certain type of corn that can cure cancer, right? And where it grows is extremely rare, and you are a farmer with 1,000 acres, right? And you find out that on your farm, there's one single acre where you can grow this corn, and it's the only place on the earth where you can do it. So you go out there one day, you're checking things out, and all of a sudden it turns out there's these damn hippies that are living out there. I think that it might make you a bit of a jerk if you told them to fuck off, but you're not wrong in doing so. You know, if you tell them to fucking eat shit.
Your analogy doesn't work.
How so?
Because no one else was living on this planet before they were there.
Well, that's fine, but it's still in Federation space. It's still their planet.
I don't like it. No, I live in the United States of America. Does my house belong to America?
No, it doesn't.
Why not?
But
it's in United States land.
well, nobody ever gave these people permission to live here. You paying for your house. You know, you have all the fucking inspection shit. You've got all the stuff from the bank. You know, you've paid a fair price to live there. Whatever. These people didn't ask anybody. They just kind of showed up. And then whenever people are like, it's time for you to go, these guys are basically squatters, you know.
No one said it was time for them to go. They decided they were going to uproot them.
That's another problem I have is nobody ever asked them, hey, people are dying. We need this land, you know.
They don't need the land.
Well, no, but they need the planet.
They need the shit in the rings.
Right. The
Which will make the
metaphasic
planet
particles.
inhabitable. Wait, what?
Inhospitable,
What word?
maybe?
No.
Uninhabitable.
Uninhabitable, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll make the planet uninhabitable for 10 years.
Well, they said for generations. So,
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, it'd be a while.
I would just vacation people there.
Yeah.
Like, you're sick, oh, you're going to planet whatever fuck, and you're going to
Right.
get healthy.
Well, that's another problem that I have with this, too, is that you have to keep in mind that while we were watching this movie, or when this movie was supposed to take place in Star Trek, there was, on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, there was a war that was taking place, the Dominion War, and it was transpiring over amongst the Federation and these people from another part of the galaxy, and they estimated at one point that over 900 billion casualties would take place.
900 billion?
Well, because it was all the Federation planets and all the people that are caught in the crossfire and all the people that they were fighting and shit. And so
There's like 8 billion on this planet, I think.
right.
Somewhere between 7 and 8.
So 900 billion, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
But so in the meantime, we've got these people here that they're living on this planet where basically we might be able to help. I don't know, 100, 200 billion of these people, you know. But no, we gotta let the 600 people leave them alone. This is, hey, you know, squatters' rights, man. You know.
You should leave them alone. And you should be able to put up camp somewhere else on the planet.
That's another, yeah. See, that's the thing, man. Is
I would buy a big resort. I would build a big giant resort there.
Yeah. On the other side of the planet, far away
Yeah.
from these dudes. Yeah.
You don't even know I was there.
Never
and you
gonna
could-
know.
You could pay a couple $1 million to come stay on my resort and get healthy.
Right. Another thing is,
But they're the same people, right? These wrinkle fucks and the Baku are the same people?
Yeah, the Sona and the Baku are, yeah. So
Makes
whatever.
no sense.
Yeah. Okay, so the Baku, they don't like machinery. The guy even says, we feel like whenever you have the machine do the work of a man, you take away something from the man. But we see that they have like irrigation systems. They have this system where it's like this wheel that can drain a lake, you know? And I'm like, those are machines, dude. Fucking, if you really want to not take anything away from the man, I think that you guys should have, 15 people carrying buckets to and from the river every day instead of an irrigation system.
That's fair, I guess.
I mean, they hate machines, so I'm just saying.
I mean, they definitely are using technology.
Yeah, absolutely. Just
The
because it's made out of
irrigation
ropes
system
and sticks doesn't mean it's not a machine,
Well, it's technology. Irrigation is technology, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
all
you
I'm
just dropped
saying.
me on the floor.
I did drop you on the floor. My bad. I hit the thing. Let's see. Oh man, we would go. What is there? Oh, I wrote down apprehending data is a horrible scene. I do like how at Star Trek everybody like announces what they're doing. He's like, I'm switching to manual controls or activating this and this inertial thrusters, and all. Why don't you just fucking do it? You're about to crash, dude. But whatever.
Lame.
Yeah.
How did that guy kill the admiral from stretching his skin?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, his
Stretch
face
his
would
skin
be
and he
fucked
died.
up, but he wouldn't die, I wouldn't think.
I mean, he's probably hurt.
bleeding. It would hurt.
Ow!
Right. I'm going to kill your fucking ass. Ow! Oh, shit, he's not dead.
No, he looks great though.
Yeah.
Skin's so tight.
Took years off of that dude. Yeah.
And he's an old admiral, so he could use a little skin stretching.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm about ready for my skin stretching.
Oh, I hear you. No, I'm in the same boat, man. What was it here? I wrote down the alien design is horrible. These Baku, all they are is people wearing earth tones.
Yeah,
They don't look like aliens at all.
No.
Yeah. And I was wondering too, if maybe the crew of the Enterprise would feel the same way if these guys didn't look like humans and instead were like these amorphous blobs on the planet,
Would Picard feel the same way if he didn't have the fucking Jones for the fucking head
Yeah.
chick, Anish or whatever?
If he wasn't getting hand jobs every night.
I thought that was the other dude's old lady.
Yeah, so did I when I first saw this. Yeah.
I thought that was his chick and that was their son, the little boy.
Right.
And Picard was just like, whoop, I'm in there.
Getting up in it. Yeah. Getting hand gibbers every night, man. How did they diagnose data if they don't have machines?
I don't know.
They just wave a stick at them or what?
I don't know. They didn't even have data.
Well, he was down on the planet, I guess.
Yeah, he was there, but
Yeah.
they didn't have any possession of him or any way to test him. They just knew.
Right. Let's see here. We get to see Deanna Troi shave Riker
Yeah.
with a straight razor. I would not trust that woman with a razor
Oh,
at all.
Deanna Troi could do whatever she wants to me.
Oh, well, yeah, that's fair. I've seen her pilot the ship before, and she fucked that up royally.
We're talking about shaving me, not piloting the ship.
I think I could see me bleeding out in that bathtub. But that's fair enough. Why would they hide the hollow ship on the planet? Why don't you just have it orbit around in space where nobody's gonna find it on the planet?
I don't fucking know. I didn't
Why are
write this
they-
pile of dog shit.
Why were there only 600 people on the planet after they've been there for 300 years? They should have a huge population.
We know they can procreate
Yeah.
because we met a 12-year-old.
Yeah. There's a whole circle of kids playing hacky sack,
Oh, incredibly, by the way. What the fuck?
Yeah.
They were
That's
playing
pretty
hacky
weird.
sack with 15 sacks, and they were not missing one.
Yeah. That's insane. She tells Picard that she can slow down time.
She shows him.
Bullshit. That is some bullshit right there.
Have you ever had a moment that you wanted to it would just felt like it stood still?
live in
Like you could almost
forever.
live in it?
And then time just slows down, man.
Yeah.
And then we get...
He was like, yeah.
I want to, right? Had the little hummingbird, like its wings are barely flat. A space hummingbird, by the way. They have space hummingbirds and space llamas in this movie, but whatever.
It's basically just Earth.
It is. Except you don't
whiz.
get them. But what I want to know is how exactly this whole like slowing down time thing works.
Excuse me. I don't know how it works. She just does it. And then Picard learns how to do it pretty quick, too.
Pretty quick, yeah. What's crazy about it to me, though, is so later on she's involved with that cave-in in that cave, you know. And it's a deal where she gets hurt, and Picard's like, hey, I got to slow down time for you so that you're not, you know, permanently, like, dead, you know, that sort of thing. And
yeah,
so,
permanently dead's a bad thing.
Yeah, like, temporarily dead's not that bad. Permanently?
Almost dead. Mostly dead.
Mostly dead. Only mostly dead. So anyway, she's like, all right, well, I'll show you how to slow down time, whatever. Wouldn't that slow down the people that are trying to dig him out of that fucking cave in, too? I would think.
Yeah, I guess. You're asking me to make sense of this movie that makes no fucking sense. I don't like it.
Right.
And I don't like you right now.
That's fair enough. I didn't bring this on us, man. We would have talked about this movie either way. So
I told you last episode, you made me a Star Trek hater.
I hate her. This didn't help things at all.
So I watched this movie at like fucking 1 o'clock in the morning last night.
Yeah.
I told you, like, out of 36 hours, I slept for 24 of them.
Right.
So I went to sleep yesterday. So I woke. Okay, let's rewind. Friday night, I fell asleep around midnight.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't wake up till 11 o'clock in the morning. My lovely wife and my daughter were so awesome. They knew Daddy was exhausted, so they just let me sleep. Okay.
That's good.
And so I slept for 11 hours, which is more than most could hope for. Then I got up and did some stuff around the house, and I watched the Army-Navy game.
Sure.
Which we won. And then I fell asleep again like around 5 o'clock last night.
And
And
I was trying to text you, and your wife was texting me back.
Yeah. And I slept till midnight. So another 7 hours.
Yep.
Then I woke up, put this piece of shit on, and and I watched it, and I went to bed. I went back to sleep around 5 o'clock in the morning this morning. Mm-hmm. And I slept till 11 again.
Oh, wow.
So
that's pretty good.
I was tired. But this movie made it real hard to stay awake.
I thought it was pretty good, but, you know.
Did you?
No, this movie's
Our
horrible.
friendship's over.
This is, with every Star Trek movie, you know, some are bad.
Worse.
Well, some are good. I mean, a lot of them I think
Contact
are
sucked
good.
a fat dick.
Well, I like that movie. But no, most of the Star Trek movies I like, and even the bad ones, I can still find something that I get into with them. But this is by far, to me, the worst Star Trek movie out there.
This is worse than Star Trek 5?
Oh, absolutely. No question. This is like a better made movie, but it's a way worse movie.
You're smoking that crack, that good shit, son.
That good kush right there.
Not the kush. No, straight crack.
I like Data's a flotation device.
That was lame.
I would like to imagine that his balls just fill with air, and they look like beach balls, and he's able to float around with that shit.
That would have been worth it. That would have made the scene.
That would have made this movie, dude. I would have been like, you know, that movie did kind of suck, but Data had beach balls for balls, and that's pretty cool. So I'll give it to you.
Oh my goodness.
So at one point, the old dude on the planet says, as soon as we pick up a weapon, we become one of them. My response would have been, oh, so you hate violence. Okay, bye. And they're like, but we need your help, you know. Well, I don't want to impose, you know, I don't want to be violent, you know, while you guys are around, so we're not going to do that. So
Look at this can. How cool
what
is
are you
that can?
drinking on? What the fuck is that?
It's a skeleton.
Well, I see that.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking
that,
Dead Guy
poison?
Ale by Rogue Brewery.
Okay. Ah.
The skeleton
It's not bad.
glows in the dark.
Oh, does it? That's
Yep.
pretty legit, actually.
Sponsored by Dead Guy Ale.
Dead Guy Ale. Do they have that at the store, or is it just a liquor store?
I buy this at Wild Turkey, which is a liquor store.
I see.
I think they're still limited on like how high of a percentage they can sell in the gas stations.
Yeah,
It's
I think
higher.
the problem that you run into, I'm pretty sure, is that there's not all these companies don't sell 6-point. It'll be like 4.2, whatever, you know. There is
And
like
it's
one or
6 point.
two that sell 6-point, but I think the restriction was those they couldn't sell above 3. And so these companies are like, well, just bring out our strong shit, but it's not necessarily 6-point. So I don't know. I do like to think that there's a deleted scene when Picard, he's not really feeling like helping these people, and Anij, she basically tells him, when this is all over, I'm going to suck every last drop of moisture out of your body. Hey, these people need our help, you know.
I did want to see more of the Ramba.
Oh, his stupid Mambo thing. Yeah, that was so bad, dude.
Mambo number 5.
Oh, yeah. That also, Data's in there dancing with his big balls hanging out. What a fucking great movie. Oh, Lordy. Let us see here what we've got. I hate love interest in Star Trek movies. I'll say that.
They try to make Picard like a Kirk in this one.
A little bit. The issue that I have is that with these love interests, unless it's like a member of the Enterprise like cast or Star Trek cast, you know that these guys aren't going. They're guest spots. They're not going to show back up, and they might maybe for another week, and then they're done. You know. So what is the point of me trying to get vested in this relationship that I know is not going to go anywhere? You know.
Maybe that's why I like the Troy Riker relationship.
Yeah, I could see that. That was not bad. You actually get to see him get married in the next movie, so that's cool.
Yay.
Yup.
I only have to wait 4 years for that one.
No, we can talk about it whenever because it was never number 1. So.
Then never. We'll never talk about it.
Oh, we will. We're talking about
Fuck
it.
you.
I like the manual steering column that Riker uses. It's so fucking stupid. It's like this Quick Shot 2 joystick from the 90s. And here he is controlling the whole ship with this damn Atari joystick, you know. And
The same one from The Princess Bride?
It does look similar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's pretty hilarious. He's got a little button for the phasers on the ship on top.
Pew, pew.
Right. I just like to imagine that because it shows this thing like coming up, you know, off of the floor or whatever, this joystick. And I like to imagine it just sits there on the floor and people are tripping on it and shit all the time. It's pretty great. Pretty great.
Do you have anything else to add to this fucking movie?
Maybe Ruffalo's bridge chair looks like a love seat. That looked pretty
It's
comfy.
pimp. That's the most fucking gangster ass bridge chair I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was a bomb ass fucking deal. Let's see here. Let's see.
No, there goes the dog again.
Yeah. I wrote down that Admiral Dougherty gets his face split open to death, and that's pretty badass.
Stretched.
Stretched, yeah. That's pretty legit, though. Oh,
No,
what'd
it
you think
wasn't.
about his scream?
Oh, God. He throws temper tantrums,
Oh,
dude.
man, it's so stupid. I would have loved it if while he was doing that, his head busted open. His
Or
forehead
at least some more of
seeping.
that blood could have squirted out.
Yeah. So Picard says at the end of the movie he has 318 days of leave. But
He
there's
plans
no
on using
money.
all of them.
Yeah, he's going to bang that
Bow,
chick
chicka,
bow
wow, wow.
Right?
You gonna bang out that 309-year-old woman.
Hell yeah. But there's no money in the future. So if you want to take some time off, I mean, they're not going to dock your pay, obviously. Just go nail that chick and come back, you know?
You have to accrue leave.
I mean, you know.
318
If you're not
days of
getting
shore
paid.
leave.
Yeah, how long has he been in the military and not using any leave?
That's nearly 11 years of no vacation.
Yeah. They're like, sorry, you lost that time.
So as a federal employee, military member, we earn 30 days a year.
Yes.
So 318 is almost 11 years of no vacation.
11 years, hadn't missed a Saturday, man. He's fucking good.
Love your job.
At the end of the movie, they say the Baku relocation is being halted while they conduct a top-level review. Dude, you know that shit's getting swept under the rug fucking fast.
There's people who want that planet.
Oh, yeah. And, as soon as the Enterprise leaves, they're like, all right, those fuckers are gone. We can get another crew over there to fucking take this shit now.
Send the rest of the Starfleet over there.
Right. Meanwhile, you got Picard calling like every couple of weeks and getting put on hold with like, Starfleet customer service. Whatever happened to that Baku people? Well, we'll see what we can find out. You're just going to have to call us back, He
puts his leave itinerary in, and they said, you can't take this, man. That planet doesn't even exist anymore.
Right. Your girl, she was sold into some kind of slavery a while back, dude.
Oh, God. You should see her now.
Right? Yeah. She looks 309 now, so. I like, at the end of the movie, they talk about how there's that Sona dude, and he goes back to see his mom, who's the Baku, and they're, like, reunited or whatever. And I could just see the mom being like, all right, now are you going to do exactly as we say from now on? Because I'll kick you right the fuck back off of this planet, And then I just wrote, yeah, he's never coming back to see her. Never goes to get his knob shined.
You're obsessed with Picard getting his dick sucked.
He never does in the show. So I want the dude to be able to have
I thought him and Crusher were hooking up.
They had feelings for each other. I don't think they ever got down with it though. They
I crush on Crusher.
Cheeks. Yeah, she's not bad. I do think it's funny.
We can make the beast with two backs.
Beast with two backs, yeah.
I heard that recently on something.
You never heard that before?
Yeah, I did, but I heard it in context actually.
Oh,
it was Vikings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I heard that show is incredible, but I haven't watched it.
It's awesome.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that have told me that. But I have yet to see it. So it is what it is, man. I like in this, he talks about we could eject the core, because there's this subspace like explosion or whatever. And so he's like, Jordy, go ahead and eject the core. And he's like, I just did. But I'm like, what if he'd have been like, Jordy, I got another idea. He's like, oh shit, dude, I just fucking launched the core. My bad. And of course it works. This whole movie is riddled with just Star Trek gobbledygook nonsense. They're just elaborating on this bullshit technology that doesn't exist, It's really bad. But
I'm so over this.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking here to see if I have anything else worth mentioning. Yeah, I guess I don't know, man. I guess that's it. The only other thing that I have a major qualm about is these people that, they're of the opinion like, oh, violence is bad, and I'm up there with the biggest peaceniks ever. But I'm also of the opinion that, hey, if somebody comes up fucking with you, you kick them in the balls, And so these people that are like, oh, we hate violence. Well, that's why you're getting your fucking ass whipped, But,
No. I mean, I don't like violence either. But you should definitely defend yourself.
Absolutely. These people, that's why everybody's fucking with them. If they showed up on that planet and they were like, all of a sudden all these invisible dudes started popping up, like, execute every one of these motherfuckers, they'd be like, yo, we're out. I think we're done fucking with these guys, So.
Yeah. You have anything else for this piece of shit, Shane?
I don't think so. I guess that pretty much is it. Yeah, it was a fucking bullshit movie. Don't waste your time.
My last note is what the fuck.
Oh, man. So Star Trek Nemesis to be continued at some point.
Oh boy.
I actually thought about maybe going through and us doing a crossover with Cook. Because Cook has actually said before that he wouldn't mind watching a Star Trek movie as long as it didn't have William Shatner in it. So I think that I might whip that card out of my pocket and have him come and talk about Star Trek Nemesis with us.
Only if he's lucky.
Anyway, what's going on with you, man?
Oh shit,
Crazy?
just been working.
Working. He's
Lots
working
of
for the
working.
weekend. Yeah. I
could bore everybody with a lot of details, but it doesn't matter. Just been working a lot.
I was asking some of the guys at work this week if they watched any Star Trek stuff. And, of course, the guy that's, like, the super racist, he's like, no, man, I always thought that Star Trek was gay. Could have expected an answer along those lines. It's great.
That's hilarious.
Thank you, sir.
You racist fuck.
Right. But, as it turns out, I
He
guess
can't fit in movies in between his puking sessions.
Right. He's over there puking while he's watching. He's, like, got his phone down, like, in his face so that he can vomit and watch it at the same time.
I really hope his hillbilly racist ass is, like, secretly just sucking the biggest, darkest dicks he can find.
That would be interesting to think of.
Oh, that'd make me so happy.
I guess he came damn close to getting fired last week. He's been with the company a couple years and fucking, so it looks as though he's pursuing a different career or a different place to seek employment. So I'm
Really?
got no gripes about that. Yeah.
So
Fuck
sad.
off. Yeah. But did you watch anything good this week, man? You said
I
you've been
watched
working.
Vikings.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched any movies.
Oh, really?
No.
Huh.
Do you watch Survivor?
Nope.
This season, man, they've done more of like. Have you ever watched Survivor?
Maybe a couple episodes. Nothing.
So you know they have
in
like
depth.
immunity idols and like hidden immunity idols, and they get all these different powers that they find like throughout the island, like cancel a vote.
Oh yeah.
You know, like this different shit. Man, this season these players are playing.
Oh really?
They're really playing. They're using shit I've never seen. I watched a couple weeks ago. We watched 3 of the different players all had like these different powers that they had found throughout the island, and they used them together to work perfectly. They completely blindsided the other side of the island.
Really?
Yeah, so it's been pretty good. If you're a Survivor fan, I happen to be one.
Right.
They've done that really well. Like I said, I've been watching Vikings.
Right.
I love it. I don't think I watched any movies though.
I watched several.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you
What was
watch?
the one I went through and I was doing something? Mike just dropped his phone.
Again?
Yep, again. No, man, what was it? I was watching that Blade Runner 2049 before we started recording here, but I'd already seen that a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went through and was watching. Fuck, what was it? Last week I watched that Predator movie, and it was
Yeah, you
awful.
said it sucked.
Yeah. Oh man, it was really bad. And this week I watched something else that was new, but I can't remember what it is. Let me take a look here real quick and see if I can recall.
If you can't remember, it wasn't very good.
I actually didn't hate it, which is the ironic point of the whole thing. I thought it was pretty good. It was Venom. I watched Venom, and I thought.
Oh,
it
you
was
did?
decent. Yeah, I liked it.
It's good?
Yeah, I didn't
Call
I mean,
back to Tom Hardy there.
Right. I watched it, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect because the whole deal with that, man, is so Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man and all the characters therein. And Marvel Studios obviously owns the rights to Captain America and all that shit, you know. Obviously, anything Avengers related that's going to be Marvel, you know. So they tried to do like the Amazing Spider-Man stuff. And I guess what's going on now is after they were going to try to do their own cinematic universe, Sony was, but as it turns out, they were not successful because The Amazing Spider-Man 2 did not make that much money, even though I actually kind of like that movie. But
Hate it.
You hated it?
They kill Emma Stone.
Oh, yeah, that does suck.
It broke my heart.
But, yeah, I didn't think it was a bad movie necessarily.
No, it's a good movie. I hated watching her die on film.
Oh, me and you both, yeah. Well, and Andrew Garfield's great too, man. And he actually pulls off like the whole grief, thing. But what's crazy about it though is so now Sony's decided to play ball with Marvel, and they've got Spider-Man showing up in Civil War and the Infinity War, and all that shit. And what's crazy about it is that Sony is still like, hey, we want to do this shared universe, So what they're trying to do is come up with a way that they can do it, but apparently I guess there's a bit of a scenario where they cannot include Spider-Man into their shared universe stuff because it basically has to work congruently with the Avengers stuff. So now they're trying to build this whole like Spider-Man villain universe without Spider-Man being in it at all, which is pretty crazy to me. But so...
Was it good?
Yeah, I liked it. Of course,
I like Tom Hardy.
Yeah, he's great.
Have you ever seen Manson?
Everybody says to watch it, and I never did.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
Yeah.
You get full frontal Tom Hardy, by the way.
Oh, really? You get to see some wing wang, huh?
Mm-hmm. You won't be disappointed.
Sign me up.
Nicole loves her some Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
I won't
He's
let her
great.
watch Manson.
No.
She'll never look at me the same again.
I liked him in Inception. I thought he was great. Him and Leonardo. I like Fury Road. He was great in that movie.
He's just good in so much.
He is. Well, it would be really easy for him to sit back and be like a beefcake or whatever, and for people to, he would get movie roles just because he's pretty physically built, but he's a good actor too, So.
He's a very good actor.
Yup.
He is a real artist.
Mm-hmm.
He really is.
Yeah.
He played a great Bane.
Oh yeah, yeah, he was great in that.
And he played a Bane that I didn't expect to see.
No, me neither. I like the idea of that Bane and like being involved with the League of Shadows, and all that shit. I thought it was good.
Really good.
Yeah, but apparently, I guess he's actually pretty short in real life. And so,
yeah, he's not a very big guy.
Yeah, they had him actually wearing, I guess, like platforms or something like that whenever he'd be up against Christian Bale, because he's supposed to Hulk over Christian Bale,
Mm-hmm.
But he just didn't. I like the realistic take on Bane too. The whole idea of the fucking the mask actually keeps him from experiencing like constant pain. I thought that was all right. It's more believable than a stupid Venom serum, because that's what Christopher Nolan was going for, is realism. So, but I don't know, it was good. The last week I was going to bring something up, and then my daughter was actually in the room for the last bit of the recording, which how a 3-year-old was quiet for that long, I will never understand.
Good job, Madeline.
She aced it.
Way to go, champ.
Yeah.
And she was just in there because she wanted her dad to open up like some fucking fruit snacks or some shit.
Right. Apparently, she asked her mom to do it, and then mom was like, "Go ask your dad," even though she knew I was up here recording. So,
get him.
Thanks. Whatever. But, so I watched the movie The Santa Claus last week.
Oh, we watched that shit this weekend.
I liked Santa Claus, dude. I ain't gonna lie.
I saw parts of Santa Claus 2 for the first time.
Oh man, talk about. The Santa Claus is no great cinematic achievement, but you want to talk about some shit that went downhill fast, bro. That fucking thing is stupid.
He got married.
Yeah, he did. To the girl from Lost, no less.
Mm-hmm. She's hot.
But Elizabeth Mitchell, she's good looking, yeah. And she's not a bad actress either. So
no.
What she's doing kicking around with the fucking Santa Claus, I'll never understand, but whatever.
She's getting paid, son.
That is true. And good thing, too, because you don't really see much of her anymore. So, and she's single now, so.
She retired on that Santa Claus 2 money.
Oh, she's in the third one too, my friend.
Oh,
She's having a baby at the beginning of that movie.
oh,
So yeah,
fun.
that's how you do it. Set that up. Let me ask you this: do you ever run into any sort of moral quandary when it comes to telling your child about Santa Claus?
yeah.
I kind of lately have been, because eventually at some point they're gonna find out it's bullshit, and if they don't, then your kid is slow. But but you got a 30-year-old that believes in Santa Claus. That dude needs help. But so the issue that I run into though is so basically she's gonna have it in her mind that Dad lied to me since I was could barely talk. So what else is he bullshitting me about?
No, she's not.
But, you could...
Did your parents lie to you?
Oh, we didn't do Santa Claus, so...
For real?
No, never did. Not once.
Who brought your presents on Christmas?
Mom and Dad.
They took all the credit?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Which, can't blame them there,
Okay, so we have been running into this situation because... obviously, fair is all about some Santa. So, like, the last couple of years, we've been making, like, a list for Santa the day after Thanksgiving. And I like the list because it lets me know what I need to get.
Right.
But, so this year she's going to get a hoverboard.
Yep.
And, her cousin Seth has one, and she rides it every time she's at his house all day long.
She's great on that thing, too.
She's really good at it, yeah. So, she's ready for it. No big deal. But, so Nicole's like, that's going to be her Santa gift this year. And I'm like, what the fuck? Santa's going to get all the props for the best toy of Christmas? Daddy
Elves
bought
didn't
that
build
shit.
that shit. Come on.
Yeah. Daddy bought that shit. Daddy's getting the credit.
Yeah.
But, man, to be honest with you, like, we did Santa at my house when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And when I remember, because I'm the oldest of two of us,
Mm-hmm.
I knew there was no Santa before my brother did.
Of course.
And I didn't let the cat out of the bag.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just let him do his thing. And
That's true.
it was kind of fun for a year or two knowing that I knew and he didn't know.
Right.
And then once he got over that, then it was just mom and dad got all the credit after that. And we never held it against them.
Yeah. Well, the only reason, because I can see where my parents are coming from, that, they feel as though there is sort of a moral divide there because, like, hey, I'm not going to lie to my kid,
I don't like deceiving her either.
Right. But on the same token, though, too, is growing up, I'd hear kids at school talk about Santa Claus and stuff like that. And I always was one that was like, man, I kind of wish that was something that I was involved in too, And so, I guess you can't have it both ways.
The best part of Santa is, like, for the whole month of December, every time your kid starts to act up, you'd be like, Santa's watching.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've been
He knows
playing
if
that
you've
card.
been good. He knows if you've been bad. Mm-hmm. You better go to sleep.
And we've been fucking with my daughter lately because she'll do something. We'll tell her to go brush her teeth, and she starts throwing a fit or whatever. And I'll be like, all right, I'll just call Santa. Don't even worry about it. Please don't call Santa. Like I have the dude's phone number.
Yeah, you do.
Right?
You can get Santa to call you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It's good shit
So,
right there.
I'm going to let her have her fun.
Yeah.
And when the day comes that she says, like, Dad, I know there's not a Santa, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I
I didn't want to
if she
deceive
says-
you, but I thought you might have fun.
Yeah, when she says, why did you not tell me the truth? If she says that, I never asked my parents that.
Yeah.
I would just say, hey, you had fun, look like you're having a good time.
Right. You're being a kid, man,
Yeah.
So that's fair. But,
As long as I keep her off the pole.
right. That's it, Dad. I'm going to go strip. Oh, God.
I take all my fatherly advice from Chris Rock.
Yeah?
Says you have one job as a father of a daughter. Keep her off the pole.
Yep.
For the ladies out there who listen who do dance on a pole, I love you too.
Right. I got no gripes. He doesn't
you
want
for
his
doing
daughter
what
doing it, but you
No.
guys are fine.
Yeah, thank you for doing what you do. You bring great joy and happiness to mankind.
We'll see you on Thursday. All of you. It's fucking funny.
Mercedes.
Right.
You know who you are.
Mercedes. That's hilarious. I love it.
Lexus. Mm-hmm. You just name luxury cars. As long as it's not BMW.
BMW. What's a really horrible car I'm thinking of? Like Ford. Stripper
Welcome
named
to
Ford.
the stage, Ford.
Right.
Hyundai Elantra.
Back in the day when I worked at that drug mart store where that dude pissed his pants all the time, the florist there was telling me about this one old gal that he had met, and her name was Tercel. Her mom
like
named her
Toyota?
that. Yeah. Her mom named her that because she was conceived in a Tercel. So not only is that trashy, but also who has sex in a Tercel? There is no room in those things, dude. But
Well, you're a big dude.
I mean, that's true. Maybe like a little person scenario or something. I don't know.
For us vertically challenged folks, it's not a problem.
Right? Mike can sprawl across the back seat of a Tercel and still have room to spare.
Yeah, my feet don't even touch the other side.
Right. Oh, Lordy.
That does remind me, though, like, we've talked about Farrah's first car. Like, I don't know why. She's 11 years from even being close to that.
Right.
But we talk about her first car, and I always tell everybody I'm going to buy her a Mazda Miata.
Mm-hmm.
A
No
two-seater with no back seat, 2 bucket seats. There's no bench seat anywhere to be found in that car.
Nobody's touching anybody.
Because cars are hotels on wheels for kids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, if you didn't ever get a BJ or give a BJ or fondle some boobies or get your boobies fondled in the car as a teenager, you were doing it wrong.
Yeah. We shouldn't even have to tell you people this. You know?
Yeah.
You should naturally be doing these things. So, but yeah,
So I'm
no
gonna get the smallest car
SUVs with
No.
no.
The first car my parents got me was a $500 pickup truck and with a bench seat in the front. Perfect
Yep.
for fucking.
There you go. That's there's no like extended beds or anything like that. No, you don't need a large flat surface for anything. Thank you very
If
much.
I could find, when I was in high school, if I could find an area that was secluded enough, that bed was being utilized.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's why Farrah's not getting one. So
No, Miata.
Miata. Everybody, keep your hands to yourself. No touching, no talking. So. But he rolls up. He's like, I got the Suburban. The fuck you do? I don't like that boy.
Yeah. Got the old shaggin' wagon outside.
Right, yeah. It's like the Kill Bill car. He's got like pussy wagon on it and stuff.
Hell yeah.
But, yeah. So, anyway, any final thoughts before we do our social media breakdown there, Mike? Or?
Oh, yeah, I do have one thing.
All right, let's hear
Star Trek fucking sucks.
At some point, we're going to talk about all those movies, so it's going to happen, sir.
What are we watching next week?
Oh, man. Oh, God. Do you really want to know?
I gotta know. I have to watch
I
it.
was so disappointed when I found out, man. I was under the impression that Tom Hanks had only done one movie in 1998, that being Saving Private Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also under the impression that Meg Ryan had only done one movie in 1998, and that being City of Angels.
Uh-oh.
Turns out I was wrong.
What are we watching?
You've Got Mail.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Fuck me sideways, man. 1998. It's the end of the year, and you just can't fucking cut us a break, dude.
You got mail.
Keep pounding us in the ass. We'll talk about it next week, but whenever you have, at the time, You've Got Mail and AOL and all that shit was like a major, pop culture thing back in the day. But now, You've Got Mail, nobody knows what you're talking about, AOL is nothing. And
They still have AOL accounts. Can you believe that?
do they really?
Yeah, I've met people since I've been in recruiting that still have AOL email addresses.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember getting those like free trial discs up at the fucking Blockbuster and shit back in the day?
No, I never did AOL.
Oh, really?
No.
Because I remember that, man.
But I will tell you a story about AOL next week when we do our
Oh.
episode.
I'm excited to hear that. No, fucking. I just think that whenever and this is the same problem, and I think I brought it up on here on more than one occasion, but you run into that problem with like the 40-Year-Old Virgin, where it's based out of an electronics store, and it's instantly going to age that movie. And AOL's the same way. you know.
Oh, what's crazy is in like 20 years from now, when we talk about our iPhones, people are going to think that we're dinosaurs.
Right, iPhones and Google. Loser. Yeah, I don't know.
We really are becoming like one with technology to the point where it's going to get real scary before we die.
It is, man. You know what's crazy is I was listening to the dude that he's like the CEO for Uber the other day, and he was talking about how they anticipate, and I wouldn't say within the next 10 years, but he said that he thought within 10 years that basically people wouldn't even own cars anymore, and they would just use like Uber or some other form of, shared driving service, Just crazy to me.
It's pretty scary because the number one employer of men in America is driving.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In one form or another.
Right. Well, technology always... People are always scared to death that technology is going to create like huge numbers of job loss and things like that. And I think technological advances do initially cause, issues with employment and things of that nature. But there's never been a major ongoing issue with, technology advancing and then causing huge unemployment numbers or anything. People adapt,
It's going to happen, though. When
will.
When all the vehicles go driverless.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally is the number one employer for men in America is driving.
That doesn't surprise me, yeah. A lot of drug addicts doing this sort of thing. We were talking, I want to say, was it last week about the fucking To Catch a Predator shit? You would be appalled at how many truck drivers there are show up to fuck little kids.
Oh, God.
Really bad. And then there was like, oh, we found crack in his car. Like, oh, Jesus, It's terrible. Not say all drivers are that way, but man, that's bad, But anyway,
anyway,
I'll segue that somehow. No, if you like the show and you want to check us out, you can always look us up on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from, or YouTube also, which is Casino Royale W Cheese, all one word. You can email us if you got something you want to say. It is cheesymovie@yahoo.com. You can check us out on Instagram, Casino Royale W Cheese, all one word, and our Facebook is Casino Royale with Cheese, all separate words. And I don't know, man. I kind of like our new format, dude. I think it's going well.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah. I'd rather do this than go over the movie plot point by plot point,
Well, if we would have did this for this movie, then I would have shot myself during this podcast. So
yeah. One thing I noticed too is I also like taking notes for the movie better because I'll just sit there and like watch the movie, and then I have to, if something comes to mind, I'll just jot it down instead of fucking going through and in depth writing down every fucking plot point.
Yeah, I got like 11 like little point notes here.
Oh, I have like 60 for this movie, but that's just because it's so fucking garbage,
And you're a fucking dork.
That's also valid. That is valid. But another movie I watched this week, by the way, just gonna throw this out there. So I'm willing to give movies a little bit of slack if they're Christmas movies because there's so many garbage ones out there. One that I watched this week that is horrible that I would like to watch on this show at some point is called All I Want for Christmas. And it's
I think you mentioned this last week too.
Oh, did I? It's got Thora Birch, the girl that was in like Monkey Trouble back in the day, and all that shit. She was the Kevin Spacey's daughter in American Beauty. But she and her brother are scheming to get their parents come back together for Christmas. Yeah.
Yep.
And oh man, I would have some shit to say about that movie. So I doubt it's gonna happen this year, and I'm not gonna talk about Christmas movies in the middle of July or anything. But at some point, I would like to talk about that shit. So, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be patient, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Your dream shall come true.
Yeah. You're. I can tell you're excited about it. So. Anyway, folks, I think that's probably gonna do it for me here. I appreciate y'all listening.
We bullshitted enough this week.
We did. Make sure if you're a Tom Hanks fan, you listen in next week for a cinematic turd that he birthed, I guess.
You got mail.
Oh, Lord. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
I'll be back.